No, but where did we choose the options in?
In our work orders. Okay, let's go ahead and I'll show you what we've
Okay,
done.
we'll see that then, that's fine.
Yeah, but that's mainly for tomorrow. Today we are doing all the setups and tomorrow we will do the work orders and the execution part.
Okay.
So today we are going to be creating other manufacturing setups and keep everything ready wherein you're just ready to take in work orders. Okay. So, okay, the two optional classes I've selected. I'm doing an edit and add. And let's see what the component order management is. So for these optional classes also, I want to mark them as each of it is optional. There's no mandate for us to select the any item within the optional class. Okay, so now if we expand this, you can see the components within the optional class have also come as the next level, and it gives a nice indented view. We didn't have component in the test org for OC2.
Don't have component in OC2, right?
I did add, right? That's what I was thinking. I added. I'm just seeing. Oh, maybe I added. So I added in the master org accidentally for sure. So like if you don't see the structure, this is also, you know, how you can just get in and see whether you have the structure created in for the OC2. And then I realized that my OC2 didn't have a structure. Either I didn't save it or something I did incorrect. So I'm again to my ATO model. Let me see if this comes now, or should I just remove it and add it again? Let me just, you know, delete this, and I'm going to add OC2 again so that it takes my new structure.
It's bad actually. So
I guess I didn't save it or I did something. Yeah. See, these are the issues with the UI. Though it shows this component order management is selected, it's not giving me that view. So sometimes I've seen the UI starts behaving fuzzy, and either you change the browser or just keep retrying your action. Okay, so now I have my structure. And this time, and when you have more complicated structures than this, oh god, again it's not coming in. There's some issue here, looks like.
did you put them as option classes, option items, those two? 3 and 4?
I thought I did. I added only 3 because I wanted to define 4 as the mandatory component. I'm just going to give this one last attempt. The selected component was deleted immediately because it was not saved. Okay, let me just save this part and come back. So I've saved it. Now I'm again opening my item structure, And first I want to see if OC2 has the structure or not. I think there's some issue with there where it's not saving, or I should rather just close my browser and open again, I don't know. Okay, let's see our structure. Oh, we have our structure. Okay, let's use it now. I'm sure we'll be able to use it now. Okay, this is our
Can you
EQ
say
model.
done? Because maybe you're not doing done, so it's not saving.
Okay, right now I see
You're,
it's saved. Okay,
you're leaving it there and then moving to the next window.
let's close it off.
Done is only closing the form. That's what we observed.
I know, but done also is saving and closing, right?
Like in this page especially, it's a little unclear. So select your top model, and again here, no, if you want to add, you have to be sure to select the right model before you hit on this select and add. If I hit here and click select and add, it'll add components underneath that. So just ensure to select the right level that you want and click select and add.
Yeah, it's good in a way. You can add components at any level here in one screen only. In EVS, you have to go query that the subassembly and then add further.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, you have to do a fresh query and going, but here it's all available at one place.
Yeah, definitely I've heard that the user experience or the UI experience of the cloud is a little advanced, and that's mainly also because we have web-based applications and yeah, a lot of things. Okay, so now I do see it, which I'm happy about, and let me quickly add a mandatory component. So how my structure of ATO is going to look like, there'll be one mandatory component and there'll be two optional classes. And in such large views, or when you have, you know, a multi-level ATO, like you have an ATO within an ATO and large multi-level, this detach helps you have a better view.
Right.
So you can scroll here in this page, like if you have a big multi-level model.
What is that detach actually?
This is a separate window opens up.
So what it does is this table, just this item structure table gets detached, like that table gets detached and gives you a better view. So within this table, imagine if it was a multi-level model which is all filling up the whole page, you can just scroll and view the model and components much clearly.
That will entirely open the new page. You can view better.
Yeah, the table part detaches from the big page, and it gives you a better view.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm doing is this component 4 I'm defining as the mandatory. So I'm going to leave the optional as no, because it's not optional. And
So
that
here,
I'm defining.
one question. So we are maintaining the structures at the inventory org level or item master level?
We are maintaining at the inventory org level.
Yeah, in the EBS, we are maintaining at the item master level, right, Dilip?
No, not necessarily. There also you do the same thing.
So I will tell you something here. In our manufacturing, when our focus is only to implement in manufacturing, we have to have the structure in the individual org, because that is what the manufacturing org will see. Okay, you can choose to have different structure in different orgs, in the different child orgs, and that is what each plant will view. But when you come to the star item and when you come to the configurator part, so configurator is again a separate module, and what configurator does is, again, I've heard that it's pretty much same in EBS, but I wouldn't know. But what configurator does in this cloud is it imports a snapshot of the whole item structure from the master org, and it keeps the snapshot first in the configurator module, and you can do a whole bunch of activities on that. There you can build in rules, you can have validations, and you can have like they call it guided buying. So if in optional class, like in my example, I'll just give you what is guided buying. So if under optional class I selected the option 1, it kind of tells you that in the optional class you have to buy the option 2. You know, something like a guided buying, like in a car, if you have chosen a leather, what do you say, the upholstery or the leather seats, then it gives you all the color options. The next page will give you the color options for leather. If you have chosen fabric, it will give you the next options for the printed fabric or the plain fabric and the colors in the fabric, you know. So that is what the configurator does. So configurator refers to the item structure in the primary org. So again, it's very typical that we define the structure in each of the organizations for this reason, because the configurator wants the master org, but each of your plants want their own structure and their own bill of material. So we'll end up defining the structures in each of the organizations.
So yeah, master org, because that is the validation org for the order management.
Correct.
So
Can I copy structures to different orgs?
You can. There is a capability to copy, and
same thing is there. Common and copy both are there.
Yeah, both are there. Yes.
That is actually a commonly used feature, I guess, because typically what they do is, even if they want some changes, they copy it and make the changes in the org.
Right.
That, and mostly again, when you're doing bulk import, when you're setting up your application the first time, normally these are all done via the import templates and Excel. So in those Excel, sometimes people prefer adding the item structures, or you can, if you're not comfortable in the Excel, because it's very tedious to add in the Excel, to build your structure in those Excel. Sometimes it's very complicated. So sometimes people like to come to the UI and build the structure, because this gives a very good view. Of course, it depends, a lot depends on the volume that you have.
One more dumb question I am going to ask.
Oh, I strongly believe no question is dumb question. So you're free to ask any question, and you are also free to repeatedly ask the same question. So sorry, please
Okay.
go on.
So usually, we use the data loader to create some of the bills of material or items or anything. Can we use here?
Yeah. So especially for, so every application has its own support to bulk loading. So some applications are giving you only the ADFDI. We are going to see an ADFDI for work definitions load, but items, they are multiple ways to load. There's something called mapping sets, where you can, map your customer items and create a mapping set and load the items. There's like the data loader you said, there is an FBDI, it's called file-based data import. There is that option, and there is also the ADFDI option.
Okay.
So for items especially, we have many ways, and then again you have services also, like you have the compatibility with master data management, and how you can have an MDM integration and support. So especially for items you have many, but like for work definitions we have an import file based, and we have the ADFDI. So every application is giving its own way of bulk loading data.
Oh, okay.
I think the data loader what you're talking about may not be used here. Shit.
You're saying to me, Rao?
Yeah. The data loader what you're referring to, not for. I'm not really sure it works with HTML or Java pages.
We have a lot of data loader in HR in the cloud. There's a lot of data loading applications in HR which uses the data loader. But for all other applications, mostly we have this. It's called FBDI, file-based data import, or ADFDI, which is The application ADF is the application development framework. DI is the desktop integrator, where you have an Excel integration. So
Is
these are
Web
the
IDE
bulk.
Web IDE application is there?
Yeah, that is the web ADI. The ADF DI is the web DI. Like how you have the web DI there, that is exactly the same ADF DI.
That means in R12 PIM, there is one tool called, you create a template out of this application first, then you populate that template and again import them into the system. Is it the way
Yes.
you do it?
Yes, we have that also.
Okay.
So PIM especially has, and PIM also again, it has most things exactly similar to what it is in EBS.
Okay.
Okay, so what we have done so far is created our items and have them ready for manufacturing. So because this is a logical point, we could take a break, and once we return from the break, we are going to focus on all the setups that are done in the manufacturing area, and basically the plant, how you set up your individual plant, what they do, and to be prepared to receive work orders or to process work orders. That will be our session after the break. So do you guys want to take exactly an hour from now, or if we go with time, we can take an hour and 10 minutes? So that I think like yesterday, 10:30 you said it will be your time, if you take an hour and 10 minutes?
Let's take 1 hour actually, come back so that at least if you want to finish up earlier, that's fine. Is it okay with all the guys?
When, like, how long is the break going to be?
1 hour now.
Yeah, let's take the 1 hour. 1 hour is okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's
Great. We
9:20
take up.
now. 10:20 we are going to come back. Okay.
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 Okay,
Thank you.
then yeah. Thank you guys. I'll see you in an hour from now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.
Okay. One more thing, Deepthi.
Yeah, sure. Tell me.
How you are planning to build stocks for work orders? Are you going to show the transactions of receiving the material into those plants?
Okay, we are going to like you mean build the stock for the components, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, we are going to do miscellaneous transactions. So all the components that I've assigned now, we do plan to do the miscellaneous receipt into the same org.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we will progress with the work orders. So
One of
today
the
we'll
item, one of the item, if you can, I don't know if it's easy, and if you have access, can you do a pure receipt also for one of the item? Any one of the item?
no, I've not done that setup and all to have the PO receipt part done.
Okay.
Now you are going to do in the contract manufacturing. Don't worry.
No. I think she's not going to cover the data flow for contract manufacturing.
Yeah, actually, because typically in our when we do a manufacturing training, like we had this discussion earlier too. We typically don't focus on all those, but we have, if we get some extra days and time, we can definitely cover that. I'm going to try to squeeze in, if I can, at least one like order submission, but I'm not going to promise on that because I want to focus first at least our core agenda of manufacturing.
Yeah, if you can cover the contract manufacturing also, that will be great actually. So
actually, based on our discussion yesterday, I did read more about contract manufacturing and all the questions that we had. So I will touch up functionally on the business process for sure. I have basically I'm parking all the questions which we have from yesterday and today, and I plan to go over all of them, and we will speak in detail about contract manufacturing and outside processing, all the questions that we had. And if we get more time, we will try to implement it into this instance too.
sure, that will be very helpful actually. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Let's take a break now. Thank you guys. We'll see you in an hour.
All right.
Good.
Hi guys, am I audible now?
Yes.
Okay, great. So are we all good to begin?
I'm
Yes.
not sure. Maybe Dilip.
Dilip is here. I had a message from him.
Yeah. Before doing this,
Sorry, I was on mute. I'm here. I was on mute. Yes, okay.
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 Deepti, a quick question. In the course contents given in the earlier email, you are supposed to cover a little bit of SAS, PAS, and that kind of introductory thing, am I right? The technology behind.
Yeah, I've taken that as the point from our yesterday's lesson, though in our course content we didn't really specify that, so I did not put up anything for that. But from our yesterday's discussion, I've listed that in the points which I'm taking for later. And I'm just keeping all this to cover hopefully tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, so now we are going to look into what is required to set up a plant. But you can say again the prerequisites
Your
before you
meeting is still
begin.
showing paused.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Ah, okay.
yeah, it's okay
Thanks.
now. Now it's okay. Okay.
Yeah, thanks for pointing it out. Okay.
Mhm.
So, so now we are going to see on what all prerequisites, like typically a manufacturing engineer, that's the role which typically does all this, and what all is needed in order to begin the work order or the manufacturing process, or begin accepting work orders and creating in your shop floors. So what we did so far was we just created a manufacturing plant, but within the plant we can have like work areas, which is a larger section, or you can also choose to have your entire plant as the work area. It's just like a logical area, and within that you can have specialized centers which do special operations. You can say which does an assembly operation or a testing operation. Those are called as work centers which do specialized operations. You also define resources. Resources can be of type manual labor or can be equipments, and these resources are assigned to each of the work centers, because that's where the specialized or whatever the value addition
So
or
work
your
center is a group of resources.
yes. So work center is an area. Is work center is like if you have to visualize it, it's like an area. It's like a shed, like you have in manufacturing plants, shed 1, shed 2. So work center is the, say, imagine the shed 2,
Yeah,
and their
like if I
resources
have
is
10 drilling machines, then those 10 drilling machines will be part of one work center, right?
correct. Correct. And like you could have like drilling in one, and you can have assembling in one, or you could have like
Yeah.
a testing or plating in one of the work centers where you're just
Mhm.
plating it. So
Okay, it's a kind of department, right?
Departments, actually. Yeah, that's what
No,
I was.
department might be work area then, right? One step above would be work area. Is that equivalent to department in EBS?
Now, the way she explained us, if certain missions are grouped under one work center, what that means
Right.
is the department.
No, but then what is work area then?
That could
work
be.
area is higher than the work center.
Right.
So work area is like, it can be a group of work centers inside that. Like in, say the north wing of my plant, I do assembling and plating, and in the south wing I do the drilling and
Right. So the accounting is related to work area or work center, or everything, right down to resource. Of course, resource also will have accounting, no doubt.
correct. It's to the every resource and every organization in its whole, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, let's forget comparison with ABS. That's okay.
Actually, let me ask you one question. Is the work center is a group of only machine kind of resources or men also?
Both. So work center contains resources. So you first define a work center within a work area, and then you assign resources to work center.
Any kind of resource. Mm-hmm.
Yes, any kind of resource, both equipments and labor.
So you said north wing and south wing. The south wing is the work area, right?
Yes, you can define that. Or even sometimes in your implementation, because it's not a huge plant, you can define the whole plant as one work area. Like work area is again just a logical area where it has different work centers, and inside the work center, a specialized activity or a job is done.
Okay. Most of the distribution centers also they might have they name it some kind of work areas also.
Yeah, it's a kind of a hanger one, hanger two, I guess. For example, in a plant, definitely you have different hangers, right?
Yeah.
So it is hanger one, hanger two. That could be work area. It is. Is there any functionality for work center, work area, Dipti? Is there any functionality?
No, not really. It's just that's yeah. We are going to see all of that, and so in this session today, we will just see what work definitions are and how it's used in manufacturing. We will be creating work definitions, and in order to create work definitions, you have to have your work area, work centers all, and then we will see item changes and automatic work definition. The lead time calculation also I've put it to tomorrow. I'm just sorry.
Let's see that. We will ask questions now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you'll understand once you do. So basically in the work definitions, you can say the responsibility. These are the jobs that you can do in the work definition responsibility of a manufacturing engineer. So this is, I've just put a simple slide that in the work definition area, like when you see the application, you'll understand what I mean by work definition area. In manufacturing, there's like a work definition area and there's a work execution area. So in this definition area, we do all these kind of setup related activities, like I said, the manufacturing engineer does. So that's like designing the product, designing the application, what resources, how much of the quantity, what work definitions.
How you went there? Can you show us the navigation, please, again? Yeah, to this.
Now, aren't you seeing my PPT right now?
No, this is PPT, is it? Okay.
No, navigation, let her come to it now when she comes.
Yeah, so I'm going to take you through the navigation now. And this I've just put up, like I'm just going over the PPT now. So I've put up a PPT so that, you have a reference back. That's why I'm just put some points in the PPT too. Let's first do the navigation and we'll keep coming back to the PPT too. So this is your Springboard, your home page, and go to Navigator, and we are looking at the work order and work execution page. It's given a different name here. I think it was on this page. Here, so in supply chain execution, we have work definition and work execution. So these are the two primary pages for manufacturing. So let's open work definition. And alternately, I can also show you like how most of our applications are available on the Springboard. You just click on this work execution, and here we move to the work definition thing. So whenever you are in any of the applications like inventory manufacturing, always ensure that if you're working in the right org or not. And remember, there was one profile option. If you like, for your user, you can go and set your default, like because you have given yourself access to the test org, to the MFG org, and to the org that you guys have created. So just try to go and set your default if you like to. Otherwise, just be mindful of what it is here. And if you want to move to another org, or while you're doing your setup, you want to just see the setup I did, hit on change org. This box you will have of select organization. Here you can just select the other org that you like to view. Click OK. Now I'm in the MFG org. Okay, but let me continue my work in the test org. So just be mindful of which org you are in, because sometimes commonly if you are unable to see your item or unable to see the structure or something like your BOM, it could be that you are in an incorrect organization, or your setup for the item is defined in another org and you're in another org here. So that's one common overlook that we tend to do. So just be mindful. This is the landing page for the work definition, and most applications in Oracle Cloud I was mentioning has an infolet provided by Oracle. So these are the you can say like reports, graphical views. So it tells you work centers by work area, how many work centers are there per work area. In this org we just have one work area and one work center, that's why it's showing this way. How many work center resources you have. Right now I have just 2 resources, one is an equipment, one is a labor. You can see that here. Even it kind of gives you a whole view of what are the plant resources, what are the recently updated work definitions, but I don't have any of them here, so it's showing blank. So these are the infolets, and normally we also have a capability to create some infolets if you like to publish them here on your home page. Okay, I click on now the right side tasks button, and these are all the tasks that an engineer, manufacturing engineer role will allow you to perform. Here you can set your work area, work center, operations, the routing, or as it's called in EBS. The routing is nothing but the work definition, that how we are going to manufacture that particular product.
You are under which role? Manufacturing engineer?
I'm under which, sorry, your question, repeat your question.
What, you are under which role? Are you under manufacturing engineer?
Yeah, I do have the manufacturing engineer, and I have the other roles too, but this page is visible to the manufacturing engineer. To the other production supervisor and production operator, we give the work execution access. Okay, so here we have a classification that these come under the plant setup. So the first thing that we need to do is set up our plant. So we are going to set up the work area. So let's click on work area. Actually, I could just complete my PPT too before I get into this. So these are basically all the capabilities that we do, and I'm not sure if this is there in EBS, but here in the cloud.
Hey guys, if you are not speaking, then put the mute, so that I'm getting echo from here.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you. So these are the all capabilities. We are going to go through each of them, and let me just go through my PPT and give you an overview of what it is. So one of the setups, again, this is one of the first setups that we do, is define work definition names. So I don't know if this is there in EBS, but here you define work definition names. That is just to define different ways of making a product. So this is just like a centralized and a controlled way. And Oracle by default has provided, like, there's a work definition called main. There's something that will specify rework and transform. So main is generally like your primary routing, your primary bill of material is used, and your primary components that are used to build that product, which is very frequently used as the primary bill of material, right? You are free to define your own work definition names. That's just like I said, it's just a central controlled mechanism, and it's just to do a similar, like if you have similar jobs to do, you can define them. Like rework, it's, as the name says, it's something that you're working on again to fix something or to change something. Like it could be an engineering change, or it could be that something was not working right and you needed to rework on it. So typically the rework work definition name is used when you're again making a change on something. Transform, on the other hand, is to change one item to another new item. Okay, so that's the difference between rework and transform. So just to give you an example, like say suppose you have a item, say XYZ1, and now you have a new and an improved version of XYZ. So, and we So after you implement a transform order, like a transform work definition and transform the product, you will have a new part number. Now it will be called XYZ version 2, part 2, XYZ2. So you're changing the whole part number also. But whereas in rework, you're not changing the part number. You're just making a change. And I've highlighted in red here that this is a very important button, the used in planning checkbox. So if this is selected, you can assign a production priority to your work definition, and that is used in planning. In the supply chain planning, will plan the material and resources for that whole work definition. And it could be that sometimes you have very low value products, like sometimes, you know, nuts and bolts or just screws. And so for that, you don't want the planning to be planning the low value, what do you say, the bulk stock. So this is to define what all work definitions have to be consumed by planning and what need not. Okay, you can define additional work definition names also if required, but they will still, like from Oracle, this is the seeded 3 provided. So when
this is like alternate in EBS. Right.
Isn't alternate like the bill of material? Like, isn't that the routing?
Yes. We have it here also. In routing also we have it. So,
routing maps to the work definition. So routing
right.
in EBS maps to work definition.
But
this
there
is
also
just a work definition. Oh, okay. There also you have. Okay.
Yeah.
Then good. So here I've just shown that work definitions can be created in 2 ways. You can create a new work definition, or you can copy from an existing, like you can use an existing work definition, and how you'll have a different set. So of course, if you're using an existing work definition, on the right side you can say it asks you to enter the work definition name and the item. Okay.
Work definition is nothing but creation of work order?
No, work definition is your routing. You're just creating how you are going to build that work order, or how that work order is going to be executed, what steps it needs to execute.
Got it.
Yeah, what resources, what material, all the details, all your routing details.
Diti, I do have one main question. When you are saying define work definition, you mentioned main. That's where we build the final product, right?
Main is a work definition name. So that is the primary work definition name, where all your primary, like any build operation, when it is typically performed using the main.
Means that's where.
So you can use a work definition name called assembly, or you can use a work definition name called just kitting. So it's just a central control. So what if you want like a similar action or a similar what do you say, the process to build, you can use the name. Like it's just a way of making the product. So I'm going to make this product by kitting, and I have a work definition called kitting. And whichever, it could be that I'm kitting material 1, I'm kitting product 1, kitting product 2, I continue using the same work definition.
Which work definition will be considered by planning?
Whichever you mark this checkbox, the checkbox which is highlighted in red here. So if you've created a new work definition, if you want planning to see it, you have to check this checkbox. If you don't want planning to view it and plan the material and the resources, you need not check the checkbox. But if your material, components, resources, everything have to be planned, you have to check this.
So once you define one work definition as used by planning, so same definition type you need to use for all items, all assemblies. Is it right?
Either same, or you can use another one. So there's no limitation on how many work definition names you should be creating.
No. My question is, once you set up that main as used by planning, so all items, all assemblies, what you create work definition, only main type will be considered for planning.
I can't agree to that statement. Like I said, you can, it need not be of type main. You can create another new one.
Does it vary by item, or if you say main, then it means all items which have been created on the main? of a planning.
Yeah, it's okay. No, it's so the item also has to be planning enabled for sure, and otherwise it's work definition wise. So basically, if I'm marking this as planning enabled, the resources and your equipments, everything that is assigned to this work definition, it can be in operation 20, 30, wherever,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
that information goes into planning.
In short, for one item you cannot have it as under main, and for the other item, a rework for planning. Right?
Okay, so I think Deepti, this is what I assumed. Like, you know, so in order to finish my one finished good, I have 10 steps: 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, like that. So first thing is I will mark it as a main, and I will mark it as a main 1, I will mark it as a main 2. So I will perform different operations 10, 20, 30. If I mark it this as a planning, the efforts we are going to put in the operation 10 for the main, that will be planned, right?
Actually, no, no, I can't agree again to that. So this is just a name, okay? This main will have all, it will have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. It will have all the operations in this work definition, and all resources and components used across your 5-step work definition, your 5-step routing will be visible to planning, and planning will plan for it. So if you have a resource, say, who's going to be consumed for 4 hours in operation 10, and again the same resource is going to be consumed for 4 hours in operation 50, and there are other work orders also coming in for the same resource, planning will have a view that this resource is working for 40 hours in the week, 8 hours is going against this work order and 8 hours against the other ones, and it gives you the scheduling dates when it views all the components which is available and which is not available.
Okay, got it. So
Yeah,
main
one
is
time-
yeah, that's it.
So when we see the demo, I'm sure it will be a little more clear that because I think the work definition name is a little confusing thing. It's just like a group, nothing else but a group. And
Actually,
Yeah, but,
Deepti,
so
is it
Basha,
about
it's at header
definition?
level. It's at header level, not at the operation level. But basically the question is that once you select main, then all items which are for which work definition is created under main, all of them will be planning enabled. Will be for planning and not the transform or not the rework. Correct?
correct.
You cannot select it item level. You cannot change. Item level, at the most you can say planned or not planned, but you cannot say that use transform for another in another item, and for this item use main. You cannot do that, correct?
Okay, let's hold that question and hold that
I
thought.
think you're right.
I'm not sure if I'm not understanding the question well, or I'm not able to agree to that. I don't know. Let's go ahead in this, and maybe once we see
one more question.
Mhm.
This is a global setup or org level setup? These are the definition types.
Org level. So we are right now in a particular org where we will be doing this.
No, I
And
can have
when
different names in a different org.
sorry.
I can have different work definition names in different org.
Yes, and right now the Oracle, what is provided, the 3 seeded ones, that will be common in every org, but rest your work definitions are specific to the org.
So you mean to say these 3 are global? Once I set, for example, your rework as a plan, that will get checked in all the orgs, or just that checking is only for that org?
No, for that org. So you will be making any updates and all to a specific org. But Oracle has just provided these 3 values as seeded values. They are like just provided by Oracle, which you cannot edit. You can, I guess you can end it, but you cannot like edit or remove it or delete it.
The end date is only specific to org, the end date is specific to the time.
No, this is all what we are doing from now is specific to org. So I will, so if you saw I remember I explained in the introduction that we are inside a particular plant. We are in that test org. which is our plant. So whatever we do here will stay with the plant test_org.
Okay.
Okay. Like I said, let's complete this, and let's maybe when we get to creating a work definition, probably things will get a little more clear, and maybe we can touch upon that question again where you were asking about items. Let's see if we have that question then also, and then we'll discuss about it.
No, I'm clear. I'm good.
Okay. So work definition contains the following elements. This is again very standard manufacturing thing. It has operation items and resources. So the work definition operations is the sequence of manufacturing steps that you need to perform. The items are the resources and the components that you're going to be consuming, and resources are what resources, equipment or labor you require to perform the job. Work definition operations. Here we use either standard operations or we create operations for every work definition. And every work definition operation is assigned to a work center. So if an operation is doing the assembly, I assign it to the work center which does the assembly, because the material travels from work center to work center. That is the idea behind having a work center. So if you have, like if I have to do an assembly, or if I have to do a production in a lathe machine, I have to send it to the work center which has the lathe machine. If I have to do the drilling, the same product goes to the work center which has the drilling setup. Okay? And for every operation, we determine the material and the resources. This is also very common standard. And to an operation, you can enable if that operation is serial tracked. So you can track the serial numbers. If the operation, you enable the operation to be serial tracked, that's when it will track the serial number. And this is for product genealogy tracking, where it tracks the entire history of the serial and the lot numbers.
Is it different from item serial tracking, or is it different? Typically items produced are serial control.
Yes, and sometimes we have very specialized items. Like one of my customers had those digi boxes, like the cable digi boxes, and in those digi boxes also they had two classifications. One was where they want to just track the serial number at the end of the work order completion, and there were certain, now I can't remember whether it was a digibox or it was some other equipment. And that one, they wanted to track at every operation. So if it's getting into a work center, they would track the serial number at that work center. When it's leaving the work center, they would track the serial number. When it gets into work center 2, they would track the serial number. When it leaves work center 2, they would track the serial number. They called it something. There was a business term for it. So it was a very tightly controlled serial number tracking, So it was not just serial number at the end of the manufacture.
So, Rao, this is available in EBS also. We may not have used it, but my current client does use this, but not many others have used it. But we do have the same thing, that from this operation, from operation 30 onwards, you want to track serial, and before that you don't need to track serial, and so on.
Actually,
like if you're putting together 5 components into an assembly, let's say first 3 operations you do all the assembly, and once you assemble it, then it has a certain shape. Now you want to do 3-4 more steps on the finished assembly, and now you want to track the serial number, and before that you did not want to track it. But this serial number is of the end product of that work order. Okay.
Correct. So that means for this the dependency is the item need to be serial control.
Okay.
Yes, the end item needs to be serial control. Correct.
Correct. It is basically you're changing the event of serial generation, not to at the completion, but to the operation.
Right. So this is in EVS also.
Yeah. Now I got it actually.
Yeah.
She said so. The dependencies item need to be serial control, and you're starting the serial control generation at operation, not at the end of the operation.
Right.
Yeah, and this also helps. There's a feature called product genealogy tracking, and then it helps you to
Right.
track at every level. And this was used by one of my customers, and that was the very first time I knew that. But that time this capability was not available in the cloud. We did a lot of customizations to support that, but yeah, that is what.
I think it's important if they wish to track inspection information on every serial number. On this information, this test was conducted and these were the results, and so on. As a history, they want to maintain that. That would be very useful at that for that requirement.
Yeah,
And also, like new sample item development, engineering team can track it, where exactly it is, in which operation. And so most of the time, they need a tracking, and for that they don't need to travel to the department and find out. So since you have a serial number, you can see the genealogy.
Right.
The quick question. In our test, are we doing at least one item serial control, one item lot control? That way we will know how the lot control or serial control and maybe revision control will impact the discrete jobs.
No, I'm not planning to cover that because again, I need so much more time in order to set that up and test it before I hold any session. So I'm not covering the serial items part also. Maybe you can try it in your practice and then we can discuss in our question answer sessions. Like I told you, these training instances get corrupted at any moment. So in most of the trainings, we really it'll avoid taking up because it could be working today and tomorrow it would not be working because there are a lot of participants also who use the instance, and sometimes people just use other people's setups. So in most trainings we typically avoid this because it's just not a good experience. So I'm not planning to cover any serial lot, but I will walk you through all the capabilities. I will show you all the screens where everything needs to be done. And then if you like to try that out, you can try. We can discuss any issues that you're facing and we can even investigate and debug them together.
Because lot and serial control got its own impacts on issue of material and all. So yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
No, of course, yes, I get it. It's just that we have had a lot of practical operational challenges, and most often than not, it turns out to be not a pleasant experience.
Okay. But if that works well?
Yes, it does. It does. I have not tried the genealogy tracking at the operation, but I have done the serial numbers and the lot numbers implementation.
Yeah, that's being used by my current client, Rao.
That's in the cloud, you mean to say?
No, not cloud, EBS feature.
Okay,
EBS
yeah.
works, I believe, yeah.
No, but it's the same feature here. It's not different.
No, all that I'm asking is how cloud is behaving in those features, because the majority of the problems are not in standard items. Majority of the problems are when you implement serial control, especially serial control is more complex than lot. And if you have a lot and serial control, that is much more complex.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, now I recollect the customer of mine used to call it serial tracked and serial controlled, and it was the first time for me where I felt that okay, is serial tracked and serial controlled different? So they meant serial tracked is at the end of say an operation or at the end of your work order, they would just track the serial number. Serial controlled is very controlled. So at every operation, they wanted to have the serial number reported. I think it was some compliance or it was some very special product. I can't remember. But yeah, that was how they termed it. Maybe it's a common business term or maybe it was just their terminology. I don't know. But that was, for me, it was a new learning that this
Yeah,
is
must be
serial
their
number
terminology
tracked.
because I have not seen that elsewhere.
Yeah, for us, serial tracked or serial controlled was just the same. We just interchangeably used it. Okay, so yeah, moving on. So this is the supplier operation, like how work definition has operations that you create. There is also an operation that you can create of type supplier. This is used in outside processing. So this supplier operation, I've just listed its properties here. So it's always count point enabled. and it must be associated with an outside processing item only. So the item, in the item, remember we saw a setup where you mark that this item is an outside processing item. So the item assigned to this operation should be an outside processing enabled item, and this operation cannot have any resources assigned because this operation is going to be executed by our supplier.
So
Okay, this is about.
That's different from EBS then.
no, this is
Oh.
a question. Yes, it is different from EBS. So
Right. Anyway, let's see it. Let's see how it goes. Okay.
so no. Let us be clear. So the OSP is only an item, not a resource. Am I right? And operation.
OSP is an item. OSP is the whole flow, right?
No, but
Outside.
there's no resource. You're saying there's no resource.
There
In
is no
EBS,
resource.
there's resource.
There is no operation.
There is an operation, but when you when we see the work definition, it will get more clear. So say in your we have a work definition, we have a routing which has got 5 steps. Out of the 5 steps, the third step is an external application where we send it to an external partner to do the value addition and send it back. So the third operation, yeah.
Specifically, it is an operation without a resource. Am I right? OSP. Internal.
And you mark that it's a supplier operation. There's an operation type. It's in-house or supplier.
Okay.
So let me complete my example. So when the third operation is a supplier operation, we will mark 1, 2, 4, and 5 as an in-house operation, and we will